Uh, how's it going, everyone? my my pandemic hairdo. Excuse me. I got a new gizmo here that works like it's a microscope, and you plug it into your computer or someplace, I guess, and then you can take videos or you can take single shots and stuff with it, so that sort of like having a super uh, magnifier, I guess, a super loop. But I can't get the thing to link to my Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on. Um, yeah, it's always something. I'll work on it some. But they told me that I wasn't going to get it. I just ordered it maybe a week ago, and they said it won't be available until July. Okay, you know. And yesterday, not only did I get one in the mail, I got two. It's one of those things I can't quite figure it out. Um, ah, as they say, it's always something. If it's not one thing, it's something else. Hey, Geezer and Bruce and David and Kevin, how you guys doing? Abdul. Oh man. Hi in there something. Dominic. Oh boy. Oh, my mic is crackly. Oh, great. I got a crackly mic. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can fix that. Is it still crackly? Hi, Dwayne. Oh, Geezer. That's what I got to get as a loop system loop. Mike Margolis has one. They are great. I love those things. Uh, I don't know why I haven't gotten one yet. Probably because, I think they're really amazing. And that's what I need. They're these great big old things. Uh, Mike Margolis, I don't know if you guys know Mike or not, but he's the U.S. rep for H. Moser and Chopek, possibly something else. Okay, sound is okay on your end, David. Yeah, I tightened it up a little. God, I spent so much time with this kind of technology, and then they always come. It's always something. Oh well. The resolution is great on a loop system. Also, very little distortion. I know, man. I've seen it. Those things are great. I got to get one of those. Hi, GMT Master. Yeah, those system. It's called a loop system. Is that right, Geezer? Do you have one? Mike was telling me that he got his someplace at. Hi, Lee Todd. How you doing? You guys having a thunderstorm, huh? Well, that's rare for Oklahoma, isn't it? Oh, we've had like several days. This whole week we're having really good weather, um, which for me really means yard work. Yeah, you can get them online. I don't know where they make them, but Mike got his somehow. We got it from something else. Yeah, it looks like a giant thing. The thing I like about the loop system is you don't have to stick them in your eye. You can hold them up to something and look at it. Speaking of holding things up, today is Francois Paul Friday, and I've got to set my uh, resonance today. Um, I've been pairing things with my H. Moser endeavor, so this is sort of my Moser week, and the thing is exactly on after 8, and that's what my computer says. That thing has been keeping good time all week, so I'm a happy camper with that. It's you know. If a watch is a little fast or a little slow, it doesn't drive me nuts. It used to. I mean, I'd go crazy about it. But now, not so much. But it's always sort of fun to see. Okay, the thing is keeping really good time. With this guy, uh, it keeps extremely good time. But what's amazing about it is how everything is kept in sync. It's just like even the second hands. You see the old second hands, you pull this button right here to sync up the second hands, and 24 hours later they're still on the same. Really an amazing fun to have. Oh, okie doke. So what's up? I got an email from UWD. I had asked a question about the width of the two, and the 3.2. And I got an email today telling me that the guy who knows that, some technical guy, will be in Monday. And so he'll let me know on Monday. That's good to know. I had sent in a request to Vauchur that we had talked about and asked them about the price and cost. I think of it, the one that we had decided on was called the 3002, I think. It was basically I think it was a three-hander. And so we'll find out about that. And I don't know, working on stuff. So what's new with you guys? We talked about two gizmos today. I thought today would be a good gizmo day. Speaking of which, I got a sticky ball that's coming today for taking off screw back, so I don't have to use my Rodico putty. That was so funny. Um, I found another watch. I had sort of found it some time ago. My loop is a brass cased antique. It makes any movement look vintage. That's funny. If you got a vintage loop, you got everything looks vintage. That's oh, let's see. Um, oh yeah, I had a new video today on the orphans, as I like to call them. These are ones that I like. I also found another 736 watch, and this is very confusing. All right, not to me, but to other people who are trying to figure it out. I don't know if I mentioned to this morning group or not, but I got something. Yeah, I got an email, and it had a link to this discussion by these guys talking about the 736, and they were all convinced it was by Jacques Droz, who had nothing to do with it. Um, it was developed and so forth by what's his name, Jean Pierre Jacques, who had to go away for a while for misbehavior. And then the next thing is that he went away, and then it became La Jus Pereire 736.12 or 3. So it ended up in a number of different watches. I have two of them. I have the Dunhill with the facets, and then I have the Maurice Lacroix, sort of the bigger size of the two that they made with that. And then there's the one by Jacques Droz is a pretty cool one, really. and they have two that look exactly alike. One has a solid case back, and it's an automatic, so there's nothing to see anyway. And the other one has a 736 in it. I put it up on High Horology Lounge yesterday, looking at it. A couple other ones out there that it's sort of a fun side collection. But there's so many watches right now. I'm sort of thinking of getting. I, I got to be careful so I don't go overboard. Okie doke. Okay. Okay, what I'm going to do, this is really weird. The way you set this, you, let me see if you can see it or not. You wind it one way to set one hand, okay? So let me do this. So would be 7, and this is where these lamps come in really handy, where you have a smaller dial. Okay, right. So I can set the two hands. If you make a mistake, you pay big for it. Okay. All right, and then I'll do the other one. Okay. It's all set. Um, it's all wound up and ready to go. And what I'll do is I always take the strap off. I used not to because I got all freaky about doing that too much. But the guy at FP's Yarn said it was a good idea. So I did. And it's all ready to go. Polish it up. Do you guys polish or run a a little polishing cloth on your watch every time you use it? It's another gizmo that I have. Sort of fun to have. Okay, what's going on? We're all those Jacquet fellows kin to. Yeah, right. Yeah, they're all intermarried brothers and sisters from that area. Hey, Hans. Let's see what's going on. Working from home, looking forward to bank holiday weekend. Man, I tell you, if I were still working, I'm pretty sure I would be doing it remotely, and that's not too hard. We had a lot of what we called hybrid courses, or we were starting to have them, and this was for kids who had to commute and stuff. Um, they didn't commute too far. Uh, God, most of them lived in dorms and things. God, they'd show up in their pajamas and their slippers to class to put a hat on. Unbelievable. Like, wow. Oh, hey, Chris. Easier to get in all of those nooks and crannies. Speaking of Jacques Droz, there are more and more deals popping up on those. This is a ceramic one that is pretty cheap now on C64. Hey, Chris, didn't you win a prize on the Watch Talk Live channel? Boy, hope so. I did. What did you win, Blue Shirt? Bruce? Hey, Orange, have you seen a new watch called the Ophion 786 Velos? Um, oh yeah. There's a video I did on it. In fact, they liked it so much because I like their watch that if you go to the Opium website and go to the end, they have a link to that video. I made an offer on one from Germany, waiting to hear back. Good luck. Watch habit. What did you put a offer on for? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chris, this is how come we have the morning and the afternoon show. By having it's the morning here, I know it's 24 hour or not 24, but 12 hours later there. So if it's 8:15 here, in a lot of places in Asia, it's 8:15 at night. So a lot of people say, good evening, everyone. And other people are saying good morning. In parts of, I guess, New Zealand, it's tomorrow already or something like that. I'm not sure. I had it all set up. Um, you won a paddock pen buckle? See, I've been getting a lot of notifications from Chrono 24 about price changes and a lot of the watches that it was interested in. Thousands off on Moser Pioneer in 1 month. Hot dog. That's great. Um, I got a feeling they're sort of clearing the deck. Moser is, and they're bringing out with their new ones that I think are not quite as, I don't know what's the word, technically challenging. I'll put it that way. Ones that because I know that this one and especially the double hairspring, they were very expensive to produce, and I think that's one of the reasons that they only go into the put them into their high end. If you can still get a Henry double hairspring, I think they're great buys. You need a world time for this show. GMT Master, you're right. I also need a world timer. I can't. There's so many watches I think I need. I still don't have a a chronograph. I mean, I have my monorector pump, but I don't have a chronograph. And I've been looking at chronographs, and even starting to warm up to those Persians because they're such good buys right now. And I don't know, but I do like the world timers too. I got to find a good world timer that I can afford. Also, too, I don't know if you saw today's video on the orphans, but another watch set, couple more watches that I'm looking at is some of the orphan gondolas. I mean, all of the gondolas are now orphans since they've been discontinued. So, so is that the Golden Eagle. I have two different types of Golden Eagles that they have. One is got a chronograph, and the other one doesn't. And then there's some millineries that I've been looking at that are chronographs. I thought, well, if you're going to get worried about getting a chronograph, why don't you might as well get an AP. And so I don't know. There seems to be a lot of really good choices. I'm trying to negotiate with these guys who are in God knows where. They have a 310 area code, which is probably in the LA area. So maybe I'll give them a call this afternoon. Hey, Millie Vanilli, um, get the GLC Geophysic 2-second universal time. It's the two watches. Yeah, you're right in that something. Those things are I yeah, it's like that that's a very good idea. And then I'd have a couple things together. I don't know. What I wanted was I was been looking at some chronographs with rubber straps because I really wanted to use them for especially in the summertime. I like to use them on walks and sort of to time the walk. Now they don't get much better with me. I mean, they're but sort of actually use a chronograph as a chronograph for timing. Is start when we leave, and then when we hit a mile, and then come back another mile, and then the rest of the the rest of the 5K I make up by just sort of buzzing around and stuff. Oh, I'm not sure yet. Let's see what's going on. If you can get a great price on a Pioneer, you won't regret it. They used to be a bit more affordable on the secondary market. I agree. I You get any of them. They are This one was, it was, hey, you get a solid gold one. The thing was 28,000 or something, and you can find a few more left that are brand new for a fraction of that. And that's why I got this one, and it works. I mean, not only do I like everything about it, and it's affordable. Was to me anyway. It was. I've decided I'm sort of on nothing over 10K, and in fact, I'm looking at more like nothing over 5K. Uh, I don't know. Of course, that there's so many promises that watch collectors break so easily. Man, I tell you, if the right repertoire uh, came along, even if it was bit out of my price area, I'd be tempted. Hey, John, thoughts on a fusee and chain movement? Who does it best? You know, John, that's another thing I've been thinking about. One thing I found out about fusee and chains, you can get a really good buy on one if you get an older vintage pocket watch. There are a lot of them that have fusee and chains on it. Um, they tend to be pretty thick, though. Your fusee and chains are movements tend to be thick, but that would be something else I'd like to get too. I mean, there's the thing with the fusee and chain is to I got this my big watch that I finally put together. Haven't found a well, I got one, but I don't want to use it. Um, I don't know. I gotta maybe see about carving down a dial. Have any of you ever done that? Taken a dial that's too big and then put it on I don't know, you could put it on, stick a little slightly threaded thing to it and then tighten it up and sort of just use uh, a power drill as a lathe and then just sort of lay it down and then take a welting stone or something and not sharpen it, but try to shave down the size of it without cracking any of the paint. I don't. You couldn't do it with an enamel one. Oh, by the way, too, John. The only ones that I think are still making a fusee and chains is Alonga Unsunden, and they're crazy high price. Do you have a watch that you go in the water with? Nope. I have watches that are supposedly I can go in the water with, but I don't take any of my watches in the water. The only thing that probably go in the water is my long suffering Seiko 5, and I'll take it any place. That's my jumper watch. It's something got a chore that and I don't know. If I were a Seiko 5, I'd go, oh no, not another one of these kind of jobs. Yeah, that's my Seiko 5, I guess, if I went into the water. I haven't been swimming. I used to spend half my life in the water when I was a surfer back in the day, but I don't know. Don't have a watch that I want to take in the water with me. If I get that one that I'm thinking about with a rubber band, that would be one I might take in the water. But the thing is that I haven't been in for a while. Do some body surfing or something like that, but the waves out here, I don't go near it. I don't want to go to the beach for a while anyway because the the crowds there. A lot of people don't get the fact that if you have more people together in proximity, and you got one person with a COVID-19, and they cough, and two of those bugs end up on two people. Well, the probability increases exponentially as you have more people. And so those little boogers are all over the place. So a lot of people are. This one guy who went to they had some big party in Florida, some big beach thing, and everyone else was starting to go into lockdown, and they said, "Oh, we can have one more." This guy came back. He just got out of the hospital and lost something like 50 pounds. And this is a guy that was, big buff guy. And now he looks like the kind of guy that kicks sand in his face. And he's like, "Oh, I'm a true believer now." So I'm not going in the water or the pool or anywhere else. By the way, too, there was a report last night. You're not going to get water doesn't transmit these bugs, especially if it's chlorinated. So that's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about a bunch of people together, and it just takes one, and then boom, that bug's out, and then apart from Seiko 5, HMT pilots make good yard workers. HMT, HMT. I can't. Raj, what is an HMT? ALS Ferdinand Berthold. Whoa, ALS Ferdinand Berthold, Brigade, Zenith, etc. Vitamin D and zinc. Simple as that. No, it's not simple as that. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, but it's never simple as that. It's oh god, there's so much misinformation about everything. Oh, by the way, too, speaking of misinformation, I had my misinformation. I was talking on, I think it was yesterday on an afternoon group, or maybe it was a morning group, and I talked about how the Arabic numbers were derived from each number had a certain amount of angles on it. And this morning, I got one of the guys said, "No, it's not the way it is," and sent me this really cool thing called Bad Math, Good Math. And I thought, and it was explained that was sort of like an urban myth. And so I learned something. Okay, the new watch goes 1 hour limited to 50 pieces. Looks fantastic. What is this? Histandi Machine Tool Company, India, based on citizen parts. Put the dial and see. Watches a chrono in Tokyo this morning. Oh, they look really nice with the green dial. Yeah, those are. Yeah, what do you guys think of that? Let me ask you. The chrono are Ahsoka designs, but they're not Ahsoka movements. I think they drop in a Myota or something like that, but they are one of his designs. And so basically it's like, getting ready to wear off the rack for high couture. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Um, yeah. I know. Yeah, I know who those guys are, and you get the design. They're mainly for the Japanese market. I say that because as soon as they go up for sale, it'll all be gone. And then tomorrow you'll see them on eBay for about 3 or 4 times the price. But I mean, it's just like, okay, you got a design, but you don't really have a Kosa watch, or whatever, how you say it. Where have you done your research? Mine comes from doctors and worldwide statistics. Yeah, so do mine, Millie. Um, but the whole idea that vitamin D and zinc is as simple as that. If that had been the simple answer, they wouldn't have had a pandemic. But it's not simple as that. Um, this is, I wish there were a simple answer. Believe me, but no, no. Yeah, that's Kevin. That's the same way I look at it too. I think it is a great way to have something from Ahsoka. Yeah, you get something, but I mean, it's sort of like, I don't know. Hey, how you doing, Clyde? Oh, the pubs are shut. Oh, yeah, and that's something that's exactly what it is. You have to, Millie, what you want to do, if you want to get good information, you got to go to really boring journals, unfortunately. You're not going to find it on things, a lot of these quacks that are running around. Most people in the world are vitamin D deficient. I know that vitamin D is important. I'm not saying it's not. Your immune system is dependent on vitamin D. That is also true. But this is what the thing is about this COVID-19. It's really nasty and it'll go running through your vitamin D like a thunderstorm. One of the things that the US has, I got a lot of well-fed people, if any place does, and well vitamined out and everything else, but they're getting it in far greater numbers than a lot of other countries where you do have a vitamin D deficiency. Okay, Geezer, um, convertible owners are not vitamin D deficient. There you go, Clyde. Neither are walkers, 5K walkers. Taking vitamin D decreases the chance of contracting viral lung infection by 50%, according to studies. And okay, that's good. Um, but we're not talking about any virus. This COVID-19 D is not your garden variety virus. It really isn't. Look, I'm not against vitamin D. I take vitamin D every day. That's not the point. But the people who have, they're filling up the hospitals and graveyards in New York. And the idea that, oh, here's a simple answer, just not going to do it. I do believe, and you take countries like India. India has been doing incredibly well compared to the US, at least from what I've been able to tell so far. And they're not known for having great vitamin D. Yeah, probably Milli Vanilli, the older you get, everything's harder to absorb. You just get old. And you take care of yourself though. People die from ordinary flu. Look, Millie, if you're one of these apologists and mythologists, okay, uh, don't try to sell it here. Okay, it's not going to fly. Uh, that kind of stuff is, you know, uh, what you're doing is misinformation and you're misinformed. I don't know if you know anything about watches or not, but that's what we're trying to talk about and not get a bunch of baloney, okay? Because that's essentially what you're doing, what you're selling right now. And I wish you'd stop it, okay? Or go peddle it to somebody else who's got a third grade education will believe that baloney, okay? Unheard interviews, the guys advising our government from the horse's mouth. We got it's not from the horse's mouth. I think they're getting advice. It's just another end, and they're not believing them. Uh, that's another thing. This is the big problem that we have. We don't know what the data are. Okay, Millie, I don't know what you're talking about anymore. Okay, we're trying to talk about watches, and just you know. Yeah, goats are good. The best, what works is this is a social distancing. You have a virus that doesn't have legs and doesn't have wings, and the way it's spread is through droplets by loud talking, coughing, and within a certain amount of distance. Where you have had good social distancing starting early, you've had a fewer incidences. And then all of these other, there's some kind of miracle cure. You go out in the sun and it's going to go away. No, that's not true. Look at Brazil. Brazil's going bonkers right now. Our big problem is that we should have had testing. We didn't have testing. We still don't have testing. We have it in driblets and so forth in all of these little states. Now it's in serious trouble, and people are screaming, "Oh, the economy." Well, yeah, it is the economy, and the reason the economy is in the crapper is because we didn't have any planning. Had we had the planning, we would have done a lot better, but we don't. We don't have any leadership for that. We got a bunch of stupid excuses, and we're almost 100,000 people have died from this thing. I don't know. I don't know why people even believe that crap, let alone spread it themselves. Yeah, I just get fed up with it. I mean, there's a certain point that I just will not. This whole new mentality that God knows where it came from, but it's really stupid. All right. And I think it applies to watches too. If we do good research, we have good information, we're not going to end up with all of this crap. And we become so used to it. And I'm not taking anybody off the page on that. Is that we what gets in the way are these two things. One are ideologies. Is that then the ideologies are spread by for watches anyway by advertising, and other ideologies are spread in other ways. And the internet is like, I don't know, do any of us really believe it anymore? I mean, like, you got something. What I think people have come to believe with the internet, if it agrees with their position, they'll believe it. If they don't, they won't. None of which is based on decent research. The decent research is in very, very boring journals that I published in. Okay, it has nothing to do with sicknesses. Let me give you an idea. Okay, of what I'm talking about. All right, and the problem with misinformation. A couple of years ago, this biologist and I were trying to find out the cause of concussions among high school kids, and I put together an interview schedule, and the biologist was gathering a data based on that. And she had to talk to a number of different high schools, and we got I think it was the superintendent of education of the state or somebody together on this. And so the problem was that they didn't want to report it, or they didn't report. In other words, somebody goes to the nurse's office, they find out that they have a concussion. All they have to do is, well, what were you doing? Well, I was doing this or doing that. And so what is the main cause of concussions? Well, it turned out to be girls playing soccer. They had more concussions than the whole football team. And it's because playing soccer without a helmet or anything else, you can hit your head and you get that. But that was what we finally found after we had to get around all of this protective bureaucracy. So, I mean, it's that kind of research that I'm concerned about. Same thing applies to watches. If you want to find out about a watch, you've got to really dig for it. And like yesterday, I was talking about those guys were all patting each other on the back, thinking the Jacques 736 was by Jacques Droz. Jacques Droz happened to use one in one of his watches, but that doesn't mean that he developed it. Oh, I've always liked some Rolexes, Dwayne. The best defense is to wear a AC3 mask. No one will want to get within 10 feet of you. Uh, Dr. A and B, I agree. We're in dangerous times. Yeah, growth plans. No, just Millie, this is an example of we need good information. Good information helps us. It helps you. It helps all of us. I don't care what it's about. And in fact, if you went out and did research and really found some good research and found out that F. P. Jorn never made a good watch in his life, and this was all made by some guy in Timbuktu. Who, if we found that out, that would be good information to know. And the hard thing to be is that is set aside these stupid ideologies and try to get into some, really good observations. Yeah, Hans, you're right. Oh boy. Um, yeah, uh, yeah, to the corner with the electric chair. Okay, the info is out there. Stop talking the secondhand info in front of TV and go read and listen to the experts. There you go. Okay, guys, listen. Oh, we went over today. I didn't mean to get off the track. Sorry about that. Um, and we'll try to not to do that this afternoon. Everybody take care, be safe, and be smart.